last in our book? And remembers what happened last in our book. It's been a while. Ella, what happened last?
So Annie was running down and she got confused about the door and she went in the wrong one and Jack went in the wrong one and now they're stuck and I think that the mommy's gonna come.
Exactly. So Ella said when they were leaving that room where they saw the tomb, Jack couldn't find Annie, right? And then he saw right next to the door they had come through was another door that looked exactly the same. It had the exact same hallway, but it wasn't the right hallway to get out. So he went in to go get Annie, and the door closed behind them. And when the door closed, it got really dark, so we don't know what's going to happen next. Yes, Wes?
So they looked behind them, and they didn't see anybody, and then they looked cool, and then they found the book, and then they gave it to her.
Oh, yeah, the queen is missing. Remember, we found the book, we found the thing she was looking for, we found the scroll, and they turned around to tell her, and the queen wasn't there. So they went into this big room, and they found her tomb, and they put the scroll in there, and then when they went to leave, that's when they got stuck. So our next chapter is called Follow the Leader. Yes, Gia?
And when they put the thing in their tomb, the money,
Yeah, she sighed a sigh of relief, right? So she was happy about it.
And when they first saw a parade of someone being dead, and they were celebrating it.
Mm-hmm. So
And
I have a
then
question.
this appeared in their eyes, and then they went in this thing, and then the mommy went like, and then they got stuck in the dark. And I bet you how scared they got.
So we know they got stuck in the dark in this hallway that looks exactly the same. Does anyone remember why there's a hallway that looks exactly the same as the hallway they came in? Abdullah, why is there the same hallway?
Because maybe they're trying to trick them.
Yeah, they're trying to trick them, right? They said that there are tomb robbers, so they make fake passages or like fake things to trick the tomb robbers so that they can't get out and take all their stuff, right? All right, well, let's keep going. So right now, Jack and Annie are in pitch black darkness. That means there's no light anywhere. And it's called Follow the Leader. It was pitch dark. What happened? Asked Annie. I don't know. Something weird, said Jack. We have to get out of here fast. Push against the door. Good idea, said Annie in a small voice. They felt their way through the darkness to the top of the stairs. Don't worry. Everything's going to be okay, said Jack. He was trying to stay calm. Of course, said Annie. They leaned against the wooden door and pushed. It wouldn't budge. They pushed harder. No use. Jack took a deep breath. It's getting harder to breathe and harder to stay calm. What can we do? Asked Annie. Just rest a moment, said Jack, panting. His heart was pounding as he tried to see through the darkness. Maybe we should start down the hall, he said. Maybe we'll eventually come to an exit. He wasn't sure about that, but they had no choice. Come on, he said. Feel the wall. Jack felt the stone wall as he climbed slowly down the stairs. Annie followed. Jack started down the dark hallway. It was impossible to see anything. How would you feel if you're in a completely dark room, it's somewhere new, and you just have to feel the cold wall to find where you're going? How would you feel? Hunter, how would you feel?
A little nervous and a little.
Yeah, I would feel a little nervous and scared too. Raise your hand if you would feel nervous and scared if you were in a pitch black place that you've never been before. Yeah, I would be nervous, right? Hold on, raise your hand, guys. Raise your hand. Yes, Gia.
My brother would have been screaming because he's really afraid of the dark, and I'll be just like, calm down, it's just a dark. And then I think they're feeling how cold it gets, and then how warm it gets. That means they're going backward.
Something
Then
to do with temperature.
if they're starting to get cold, that means they're going forward.
Oh, we'll have to see how they figure this out. Yes, Wes.
Last night, my dog slept with me.
Oh, very nice. All right, let's keep going. So that's why Jack said his heart was pounding and it was getting harder to breathe. Have you ever gotten super nervous or scared? And you can feel your heart like pounding in your chest because you're starting to get really nervous? So Jack's trying to stay calm for Annie, but he's getting really nervous. It was impossible to see anything, but he kept going, taking one step at a time, moving his hand along the wall. He went around a corner. He went around another corner. He came to some stairs. He went up. There was a door. He pushed against it. Annie pushed too. The door wouldn't budge either. Was this the same door they had started at? It was no use. They were trapped. Annie took his hand in the dark. She squeezed it. They stood together at the top of the stairs, listening in silence. So when they followed the wall, they went around one corner, and then they went back around another corner. So they just went in a giant loop. So they're just going in a circle and keep ending up at the same door. So listening to the silence. Yes, Adelaide.
Maybe the two robbers are trying to block the windows for them to escape, for them not to escape.
No, so maybe the door's locked so they can't leave. Let's see. So they're listening to the silence. Meow. Oh man, Jack whispered. He's back, said Annie. Who's back? Mm-hmm. Meow. Follow him, cried Jack. He's going away from us. They started down the dark hallway, following the cat's meow. Hands against the wall, Jack and Annie stumbled through the darkness. Meow.
Can we see the picture?
I'll walk around with it after, okay? So don't worry if you can't see it that well. I'll walk around after, okay? So it's them in the very dark hallway with the cat. But I'll walk around after to show you guys the pictures, okay? They followed the sound all the way through the winding hallway. Down, down, down. Around one corner, then another, and another. Finally, they saw a light at the end of the tunnel. They rushed forward out into the bright sunlight. Yay, Annie shouted. But Jack was thinking. Annie, he said, how did we get out of the false passage? The cat, said Annie. But how could a cat do that? Asked Jack. Magic, said Annie. Jack frowned. But look, said Annie. She pointed. The cat was bounding away over the sand. Thank you, called Annie. Thanks, Jack shouted at the cat. His black tail waved. Then he disappeared into the shimmering waves of heat. Jack looked towards the palm trees. At the top of one sat the treehouse, like a bird's nest. Time to go home, Jack said. He and Annie set off for the palm trees. It was a long, hot walk back. At last, Annie grabbed onto the rope ladder, then Jack. Once they were inside the treehouse, Jack reached for the book about Pennsylvania. Just then, he heard a rumbling sound. The same sound they had heard in the pyramid. Look, Annie said, pointing out the window. Jack looked. A boat was beside the pyramid. It was gliding over the sand like a boat sailing over the sea. Then it faded away into the distance. Was it a mirage? Or was the Ghost Queen finally on her way to the next life? Home, Jack, whispered Annie. Jack opened the Pennsylvania book. So what they saw, I'll show the picture here and then I'll walk around and show it, was they saw a boat just like they had found the Queen, and it sailed over the sand like a real boat. I'll come around again too, okay? So it sailed away next to it, so they were thinking maybe the Queen made it to the next life since we found the book for her. Yes, Wes?
And there was a mommy canoe with no parents.
All right, let's see here. So we're going home now. So he pointed to the picture of Frog Creek. I wish we could go home, he said. The wind began to blow. The leaves began to shake. The wind blew harder. It whistled louder. The treehouse started to spin. It spun faster and faster. Then everything was still, absolutely silent. And that's the end of chapter 9. So why do you think chapter 9 was called Follow the Leader? Who did they follow? Luke, who did they follow? Yeah, they ended up following the cat out, right?
Yeah, and some people said the cat.
So some of us had guessed that there's a lot going on, right? So they followed the cat out, and Jack asked, how did the cat know how to get out? What do we think? How did the cat know how to get out? What are your guesses? It doesn't tell us, but what do you think? Ella, what do you think?
I think because it lived in there so long, that it knows everything.
So maybe it lives in there.
And because it was magic.
So maybe it's a magic cat that lives in the pyramid. What do you think, Gia?
I think that he lived in there for a while. He lived there for a while. I think the same thing as Ella said. But I think if he didn't live there for a while, they like got him like a month ago, and he just found that tunnel, and then he just figured out get out. I think he was smart.
So maybe he's just a smart cat and he knew how to get out. That could be it too. Luke, what do you think?
I think,
Abdullah, sit in your chair.
I think, you know how they have pyramids of dogs and stuff? Or cats? I think that was a mummy's cat.
Oh, so maybe it was the queen's cat? It could have been because we've seen it with the whole time we were with the queen, right? Go ahead, Wes. No, we'll read the next chapter next week because that gives me time to find a new book for us to read. But if you remember, and I know we didn't start with the first book since I couldn't find my first book, but if we remember, this tree house is magical, right? And they keep finding things with M's on them. They found a coin, and what was the other one they found at this point?
With the chapter.
I think they found a coin and a bookmark with an M on it. So we know that there's someone with an M.
No, the book with it.
Hold on, listen. So there's a coin and a bookmark with the letter M on it. Because this is a magic tree house. They're also trying to figure out who that M person is. So maybe they have something to do with
Wait, maybe
it.
the queen's named Emmy.
Well, the queen was Hetapai was her name. All right, I'm going to come around and show the pictures, okay? If you have questions, I'll take them while I show the pictures. Nope, you need to go back to your seat and I'll show you. All right, let me show my friends that'll be at home, and then I'll come around and show you guys, okay? There's the boat and the pyramid.